Hello everyone, welcome to your inner child reading for the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine. Okay, so for our first card, let's find out how your inner child feels about your twin flame relationship. Let's go deep and see what your inner child is feeling. The first card we have pulled is Eternal Youth, energy, newness, and vitality. So your inner child is feeling that this relationship actually is keeping them eternally youthful. This relationship keeps them alive, feeling aliveness, feelings of engagement, just being engaged in life, in this exciting energy. So this relationship inspires your inner child in creative endeavors, whether that be music, playing an instrument. I'm getting that this relationship, your twin flame relationship with each other, your inner child feels inspired to express him or herself creatively. So it's this energy of attraction because your inner child feels that they are this energy of aliveness. So this energy of feeling alive is what keeps them feeling young. You know, that feeling of being young and in love, you know, the first time you fall in love. Your inner child feels that your twin flame relationship sparks within them these feelings of joy and of falling in love all over again, despite what may be going on in your relationship, through the ups and downs, the pushing and pulling, the running away, the chasing, the mirroring, the reflecting of one another. Despite all of this, your inner child still feels every day feelings of being in love, of being connected, of having all your focus just on that one person, your divine partner, where your inner child's attention is just being focused. So again, just feeling eternally youthful, feeling of being eternal and never getting old. Like the feelings never get old. Your inner child feels like it's just suspended in time, ever present in the now. So the next card that we pulled is Guardian. So I'm getting that your inner child is feeling your twin flame is actually like a guardian angel. Your twin flame is watching over your inner child like an invisible friend, an invisible angel, that even when you're apart, your inner child senses your presence in his or her life, like always whispering in her ear, his or her ear, giving her messages, whether that's from, you know, something he or she reads, whether that's from nature, whether that's from something he or she is watching on television. Your inner child is really getting the sense that he or she is being watched over in a good way. Your inner child feels like that you're protecting your inner child. So feelings of safety, feelings of home, feeling calm and at ease. So far these are really very positive feelings that your inner child is having towards your relationship. So far so good. And the next card that we have is Transformation. You are experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. So your inner child is witnessing the growth and the changes that are happening with you and your inner child is feeling the difference between how you are now with experiencing your twin flame relationship as compared to before in the past, when maybe you weren't aware of your twin flame connection, maybe you weren't aware of your twin flame, maybe you had never heard of twin flames before. Your inner child really gets the impact of the change that has been happening, that continues to happen because of your twin flame relationship. So your inner child really sees the value, really sees the improvement in your feelings of joy, your feelings of happiness, your feelings of being in a higher vibration. Your inner child really gets and really feels the change that your twin flame partner has had on your state of being. Your inner child also recognizes the feelings of abandonment and being alone and being lonely. However, at this point in time, your inner child is really feeling the blessings. So is really feeling the positive things of your relationship, and is seeing the positive aspects, is seeing how much maybe more connected you both are. Your inner child is really feeling the positive things in which your relationship has provided or has enabled you to experience. So your inner child is really feeling things in a positive way at this moment in time. Okay, so the next card that we pulled as to how your inner child is feeling about the relationship is Leela. So this card says, spend time alone in nature, meditating about your desires and intentions. Ask the angels to help you gain a positive perspective. So your inner child is feeling that maybe you've been focusing too much on your twin flame and needs some more time in solitude. Your inner child needs more time alone in nature to think about what your inner child desires, what your inner child wants to do, wants to have, wants to be, wants to feel. So when you're alone in this time of solitude, it's a really good time to go within and to connect with your inner child, to reconnect during this time, to allow for the communication to flow so that you can understand what your inner child is going through and what your inner child wants. And so your inner child is really feeling that maybe in your twin flame relationship there isn't enough time being spent alone, or that your inner child wants to spend some time alone in solitude without focusing so much on your twin flame partner. And the next card that we pulled for how your inner child feels about your twin flame relationship is worth waiting for. So divine timing is at work in your love life. So this ties in with the previous card about spending time alone. Your inner child is really wanting the two of you to connect. If you see here, this could represent your inner child, this could represent you, divine feminine or divine masculine. It could represent your relationship to each other. So again, divine timing is in play here. And so your inner child realizes that your partnership with your twin flame is definitely worth waiting for. And during this time of maybe taking a pause or spending time alone, that this is time to actually spend time with each other, so that once that time is really spent alone and in solitude with your inner child, that you have this beautiful relationship that awaits you with your twin flame partner. So this is really good. It's really positive. I wasn't sure when I thought about doing the inner child reading. The questions came to me is, well, how does our inner child feel about the relationship? And again, this is a collective reading. If you're interested in getting a more personalized inner child reading regarding your twin flame relationship, you can please contact me, and I'd love to give you a reading. So the next question that I thought of was, how does your inner child feel about your twin flame? How does your inner child feel about your divine partner? So this card that was pulled is courtesy, thoughtful, polite, good manners. So your inner child is feeling that, is not giving a whole lot from this card, but just on the surface that he or she thinks about your twin flame partner as being thoughtful, polite, and courteous. So it's still very positive and very pleasant. So I'm just getting that on the surface, everything looks good. Your inner child is seeing that on the outside, everything seems like a good match. But if you can see in the background, there's a wolf here. And we all know the story of Little Red Riding Hood, so that's what I'm getting from here. To be maybe somewhat suspicious of what could be going on here. So your inner child, despite your twin flame being polite and courteous and looking good on the outside, your inner child still has some reservations of, what is your twin flame really up to? Is he gonna gobble me up whole? Is she going to attack me when I'm not looking? So your inner child still has some reservations of what is really going to happen. And of course, like most children, there are fears that, because the inner child fears the unknown. So he or she is looking to your partner as, well, I really don't know them that well enough to fully trust and to fully open my heart. So that's what the inner child is kind of stating with this card. I have all my goodies with me and I'm happy where things are. So we'll see what happens down the road if we can really open up and trust. So let's pull the next card. And the next card that we have is spiritual growth. So I'm loving that your inner child is growing. There is evolution. In the last reading that we had, spiritual growth did also come up in terms of your inner child, I want to say, witnessing growth, witnessing evolution, witnessing changes, positive changes, difficult changes, and this is all a part of the growth that is happening. So your inner child is aware. Your inner child is aware that your divine partner is, there was a word that came to mind, but the next word that came was like a trigger. So your inner child is seeing your partner as triggering growth. Your inner child sees your divine partner as, well, I'm being confronted with these things and I am being faced with these challenges and I am being led to change whether I like it or not, whether I want to or not. So your inner child is really seeing your partner as a catalyst for growth, again, for spiritual growth. So I'm getting, again, that this is very, very good, very positive. Again, because this came up with this card, I'm getting that the inner child is still not knowing if he or she can completely trust the situation, but your inner child does see the merit, does see the positive aspects of who you are in this relationship to them. So the next card that came out about how your inner child feels about you is, again, the quiet time. Your inner child is really, really seeking this quiet time. It's like how, as children, most children are used to nap times, quiet time, reading time. So your inner child is really seeing that, okay, I want more quiet time. I want more time alone to rest, meditate, and contemplate. I need to have this time and space to get in touch with who I am. So this is what your inner child is saying. Because I know for myself, and I know from a lot of twin flame relationships out there, that we tend to focus so much on what our divine masculine is doing. What is he thinking? What is he up to? Where is his head space? Where's his heart space? Where is he moving to? What is it evolving to? And yes, although we as divine feminines really want to have some insight into the situation, our inner child is really saying, like, shh, like, can we have some quiet time to just for us? Even divine masculine, if you've been somewhat neglecting your inner child and your inner child needs, your inner child is really wanting this time to be taken out for them to have this space. So maybe your inner child is looking at your partner as they take up so much time and energy and focus that I just want some quiet alone time. And that's very understandable. As children, even as adults, we all need a break just from where our focus is really focused on. So your inner child is looking at your partner as, okay, maybe I need a break. We need a break from all this focus on our divine partner. So the next card that came up is patience. So it says, now is the time to learn, study, and gather information. Enjoy being a student, because in the future you will synthesize your knowledge into action. So again, this is saying that your inner child needs the space. Your inner child is asking for patience regarding your partner, to take this time and the space to learn things, to study new things that your inner child has always wanted to learn. So maybe that's a new language, maybe that's how to play an instrument, maybe that's a sport, maybe it's a new hobby. Your inner child wants to be included in your everyday life, just as any child wants to be a part of their parents' life. So I'm getting from this card that, this alone time, taking away the focus and energy from your divine partner to focus on something else, something fun, something that your inner child's always wanted to do but never had a chance to do, that your inner child is saying that they would like you to take this time away from your twin flame partner to really get in touch, really learn something new, become a student again, and to just have patience for this whole evolution of your inner child with your divine partner. Because again, it's excuse me, it's so that all relationships flow in harmony. Because when we are in harmony with our relationship with our inner child, then all our relationships are in harmony, and especially the one with our twin flame. I have learned from my own experience that the state of your relationship is based on the state of your inner child. If your inner child is happy, then things go smoothly. And if things come up that are mirrored in your twin flame partner, it's merely a reflection of what's going on within your inner child and your relationship with your inner child. So again, this card is just asking for patience during this time, to take some time again and space from your twin flame partner. And again, this card of retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. So we tend to live our lives very focused on the outside world. And for those of you who do meditation, that's very beneficial for your relationship with your inner child, because it allows the mind to quiet and it allows a communication to flow between you and your inner child. So without this space and without the time dedicated to nurturing this communication, to nurturing this relationship, it is almost non-existent. The relationship with your inner child is non-existent. So the inner child is really wanting to retreat and have this time to focus. But what I'm also getting is that this partnership here is how your inner child sees you and your divine partner. So you see the couple walking away. Your inner child may be having feelings of being abandoned, feelings of rejection, when both you and your divine twin flame are off in your, in la la land, doing your thing, evolving and growing and nurturing your relationship. Your inner child feels neglected. So this card could possibly mean that your inner child is wanting you to remember to keep your inner child included in this relationship, not to turn your back and abandon your inner child, because as inner children, all inner children have this fear of abandonment, which they perceived as an experience of when they were younger. So even though you disconnect, they're seeing that your partner could possibly make you disconnect from them. And again, that's something that they are fearing and that they are not wanting. So they may be looking at your partner as, this divine partner could possibly take away my mom or my dad. So they're just a bit weary of that, and that's how they view your partner. So just to keep this in mind when you are with your twin flame partner, when you are sharing your lives together, how important it is to retreat from the world, but not to retreat from your inner child. So overall, I'm getting that this reading was very positive. It gave a lot of insight into how your inner child is feeling and with regards to your twin flame relationship. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you have any questions or anything that you'd like to see posted during my readings, please feel free to do so, and I would love to respond to all your questions and the types of readings that you would like regarding twin flame relationships with their inner child. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and until our next reading, I'm wishing you all so much love and peace.